All right, it's always a fun time talking sports with Kavita Channe, sports and entertainment reporter, broadcaster for VIP TV. She's all over the place covering the Dolphins and the Jags. Kavita, I'm glad we can track you down and get a hold of you to talk some sports. This is good.
Technology, gotta love it.
Yeah, definitely. So on Saturday night, you were on the red carpet doing some interviews at a very, very cool event.
Yes, that's right. So our legendary Miami Heat broadcasters for Fox Sports, Tony Fiorentino and Eric Reed, every year. So this amazing gala called the Call of the Game Dinner, where they award people in our community that have done so much for so many people, and then all the proceeds benefit Lauren's kids. Lauren Book was molested as a child, and she decided to turn that into something positive, create this charity, and now it's really just taken over the nation and helped so many people. So it's really great every year to see more and more money raised for that. This year we had, I'm not sure if you saw me on social media, but we had some very fun, there's always special guests, but this year we had Pat Riley, who received an award from Don Shula. So you can only imagine the pictures of having NFL coaching legend Don Shula sharing the stage, presenting an award to Pat Riley, who is the GOAT. Well, that's debatable, but in South Florida, to us, he's the GOAT. Then we had Dick Stockton, legendary broadcaster. He's pretty much, everyone knows his voice in sports. He was also honored. Troy Vincent, who I'm sure you know, cornerback in the NFL, now executive vice president of the NFL. So it was a pretty fun guest list.
I remember Troy Vincent going all the way back to his Wisconsin days, playing cornerback in college. So I remember that great NFL career. And we talked about it a little bit before we started the record. Just very impressive to have that kind of athletic resume, to be an all-pro cornerback and then turn that into the business and administrative side and be able to be that successful from that standpoint too is amazing.
It is amazing. And I asked him, how does one go from cornerback to executive vice president of the NFL? And he also has a huge family, very into giving back and into helping different charities. And he just said that, he just loves what he does. He loves to help people and he loves contributing. And I asked him, do you miss playing? I mean, what do you like better? And he said, nope, I do not miss playing football at all, not one bit. So I thought that was pretty interesting to hear him say that.
And Kavita, who's going to argue with you when you've got Don Shula with the most wins in NFL history and the most Super Bowl appearances in NFL history, tied with Bill Belichick? So that's kind of difficult to argue with. So you got Phil Jackson.
Yes.
And you've got, you mentioned Pat Riley. So this could cause a little bit of a debate. And we're at that point in the season of the NBA where people are talking Steph Curry versus LeBron versus Michael. And we can take that to a coaching level as well versus Phil Jackson and Pat Riley. So I'm guessing you're going to side with Pat Riley.
Here's the thing. If you're talking about just as a coach, okay, Phil Jackson, 11 championships, okay, 6 with the Bulls, 5 with the Lakers. Didn't he win 2 himself with the Lakers as a player? So, but as a coach, he does have more rings. I mean, he has more rings than he can fit on his hands. And then you have Pat Riley, who has less rings, but he's also very successful as an executive. And, Phil Jackson now going into that executive role and not finding his kind of groove yet. It's just, are we talking all around or are we just talking NBA coach? Because if it's just NBA coach, you got to give the edge to Phil Jackson. But if it's all around NBA player, coach, executive, just, someone that can do it all, I got to give the edge to Pat Riley.
That argument seems to come up when we talk coaches, of course, and for some reason, the one position in all of sports is quarterback. How many rings do you have? And that seems to start the debate in terms of who's the greatest of all time. I like to delve a little bit deeper. So the one checklist that I'll put in Pat Riley's favor is building winners in 3 places. Okay. So Phil Jackson seemed to be ready-made for the situation in Los Angeles with Shaq and Kobe. Not too difficult. Yeah, he was the guy that brought it all together. He's an amazing coach. But Pat Riley,
to a challenged team is what you're saying.
Yes. Well, Pat Riley, what he did with the Knicks, and he came that close from winning a Game 7 and getting that 3rd championship with a 3rd different franchise, which is truly amazing. So that Knicks team was completely off the radar. He brought them a championship, did the same thing with the Heat. The Lakers had a good team, weren't winning championships until he was put in place with Magic and company. So it's a great debate.
So you're basically saying, because you didn't really give a one or the other, but I think you're kind of going with Pat Riley on this one. Just
I
because
like Pat Riley.
Remember, people could say he came this close, but he didn't get it. So
they could say that, but the coach can only do so much.
Exactly.
He can't block out for rebounds. He can't shoot 3-pointers. And when John Starks misses like 10 in a row in Game 7, it's kind of difficult for Pat Riley to do much about that.
You know, what's funny is I asked Pat Riley too about, he's a godfather and he dresses very impeccable. He's at a lot of the events. I don't know how he makes time for all of this. He doesn't look 71. He's 71. He's still a handsome man, He gets double takes from women, when he walks by. He has that swag to him. He says he's been wearing Armani for years and years and years, like over 20 years. He hasn't changed, and he just dresses in Armani. And he said that he's not endorsing Armani. He doesn't get free suits out of it, but he just loves Armani. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that about him.
Yeah, very cool event. And Kavita, I got to say, we've only talked a couple times, but in seeing you all over social media and what you've produced and our conversations, you seem to be the perfect person for the sports entertainment combination. So you are just the perfect person to be covering something like that. So I'd love to know what else you're up to these days. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so, as I said, doing VIP TV a lot. We're covering a lot of Dolphins events. I'm going to be also hosting a home improvement show, a national home improvement show, but I can't really talk about it yet. But, we can do another blog, me and you, when I do that. So, yeah, I love the whole sports and entertainment aspect. I think that sports should be fun. It's not all about analyzing the game. We want to talk about everything else surrounding it, too. And that's fun,
Okay, Kavita, Dolphins, Jags. You've got to bring a winner home for one of the two this fall. Can you kind of promise us that?
Well, I got to give the edge to the Dolphins. Let's see how they do in the draft. Let's see.
Yeah, we got the NFL draft coming up in a few weeks. I love that event, and that's become an event, a TV event as well.
Where are you going to be watching the draft?
Oh, it's funny because I've got a buddy who's a pilot for Delta, and he is such a draft freak. I've never seen anything like it, that he has actually flown me to his house 3 or 4 different occasions. And he's lived in Atlanta, Cincinnati. He's been all over the place and flown me there just for the weekend to watch the draft. And he's got the big board and the whole deal. I haven't gotten the offer yet this year, but we'll see.
So he literally got on his plane, picked you up, and then went back to where he lives.
He arranged for me to fly in.
Who is this friend? Where does he live?
He's a good friend. And he's also an Air Force pilot and instructor. So he's got a lot going himself. But maybe not as much as you, Kavita.
I actually took flying lessons because I am scared of flying. And I didn't want it to always kind of hinder. I never let it hinder my life, but I just didn't want it to always look like that scared chihuahua on the plane, every time we take off and we land. So I started taking flying lessons in 2010. I wanted to get my license. And after I heard some of the classes that were coming up, like having to pull the kill switch and all these emergency things you have to do, I said, forget it. I am not doing that to a perfectly good airplane. There's no way. You couldn't pay me to do that. So
she is Kavita Channe, VIP TV, sports and entertainment broadcaster, covers the Jags, covers the Dolphins, also has another project in the works involving home and garden television. So, Kavita, we're going to track you down sometime soon. So that anytime something happens in sports that you really want to talk about, you know who to call.
You.
Call me and we'll talk about it. In the meantime, I think people need to Google you, look you up on YouTube, because you've got some of the more fun interviews, and some of the stuff that you've produced is just really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much, and I really respect all the work you're doing, and I get to catch a lot of your stuff on Twitter too, and you're all over the place too. So, it takes one to know one, right?
That's it. All right, Kavita, you have a great day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have fun. See ya.